Ha 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 ha! The Heritage Foundation doesn't have any power. Let's get dangerous. I'd like to take a minute to point out the irony of how you're asking on an app that they tried to ban, that they actively lobbied against, because censoring the media and controlling what you and I see is in Project 2025. Let's just go through some of the elected officials in their pocket. Sound off if you spot one of your officials. Crap, you got me. Jim Banks of Indiana. That was quick. Senator Ted Cancun Cruz. Senator Deb Fisher of Nebraska. Old Josh Hawley of Missouri. Former Governor Larry Hogan. Governor Jim Justice of West Virginia. Representative David Schwilkert of Arizona. Senator Rick Scott of Florida. According to a conservative close to the Heritage Foundation, they took control of the Trump transition effort days after the November election. You see, the administration needed help for their quote-unquote thinly staffed transition operation, so they sat out to grab some of their alum and their close friends. That's how we got Mike Pence! Indiana again? Anyway, they were cool enough to give him a job when he was done. Hey, maybe that's why 45 doesn't want to acknowledge the Heritage Foundation. The old ex works there. Pause to read because they put a whole bunch of people into places of power within the government. Important jobs that people like Scott Pruitt, Betsy DeVos, Mike Mulvaney, Rick Perry, Jeff Sessions all filled at their direction. And, made a few lists for SCOTUS. No big deal. Historically, they have been ranked among the most influential public policy organizations in the United States. Fun fact, that doesn't include the Daily Signal or Heritage Action, both under the Heritage Foundation umbrella, but separate organizations. Project 2025, the Mandate for Leadership, has 75 partners. Well, according to the Wikipedia, it's actually 100. 25 got scrubbed off because, bad press. But for note, they and their 100 partners employ over 200 former Trump administration officials. And they do think tank stuff, like getting dark money for voter suppression from their dark money pals. And they got paid to draft the bills and hire lobbyists within the states to suppress the votes. Speaking of dark money groups, they have connections to Russia, Hungary, and thanks to some furry hackers, connections with China. Upon analysis of the hack, they found extra strange Chinese IP addresses, even though they're taking on China. Well, that happened. I wonder if the think tank thought they would have thunked it. Inconceivable! Sometimes if you want to see what they're going into, just see what they're getting sued for. Doesn't make the news. Like violating disclosure laws. Doing that thing that nonprofits aren't supposed to do. Spending $1 million to aid in political campaigns. You'd think that the think tank would have thunk of talking to the dark money pals. I don't know, seems like a lot. And that's just what I could find. I imagine there's a bunch more out there. Man, it kind of feels like you're being Captain Dark. Wonder why? It's almost like they're spending millions of dollars to influence your opinion and your mind. It's not like we haven't seen disinformation before. He's right behind me, isn't he? But hey, when I looked up the 501c status of it, at least it's good to know they got a 4-star rating. Because they did that thing nonprofits are not supposed to do. Be literally sued for influencing an election with money. Is that a lot? Because it feels like a lot. And that's just what I can find with 30 minutes in the Google machine. You been psyoped, bro. But yeah, I am kind of a clown. You fucking turnip!